Tashidile to everyone. A very warm good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. We hope you all are doing great, and thank you so much for joining us for today's session. And as usual, let's all together begin today's session by setting a clear and positive motivation. And also, let's include all other dear Mother sentient beings in our prayers. So today we have Shirwani Tinzin Seldunla as the prayer leader for English speaking participants. And from the Russian team, we have Anna Tinzi Tomala as the interpreter. And Dariala is the prayer leader. And Yuliala is coordinating this very session. Thank you so much. So let's begin today's session and over to our respected prayer leaders.
Thank you, Dipeshla. Thank you, Karmala. Tashidalek, everyone. Let's begin with preliminary prayers. Begin your practice by setting a proper motivation, which consists of three parts, while being mindful of both aspects, the object being visualized and the manner in which you visualize it. Refuge field. In the space in front of you, visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, and all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas or any other enlightened beings you regard with veneration. They are looking upon you with immense kindness and unconditional love, just as a mother looks upon her only child. Bodhicitta field, visualize seated on either side of you, your kind parents, mother on the left and father on the right. Additionally, you're accompanied by all other dear mother sentient beings, leaving none aside, and you are leading them in this practice. The purpose of the practice to manifest the Buddha nature within you, which is the ultimate source of happiness, by removing the two mental obscurations, afflictive obscurations, consisting of the afflictions of negative emotions, contaminated karmas, and their corresponding active seeds, and cognitive obscurations, the subtle stains, that is, inactive latencies of the afflictions and contaminated karmas. Recite the following verses while mentally invoking their profound meanings and associated experiences. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Taking refuge and generating bodhicitta. Sange jodang songe chonam la jancho bhadu dagni gepsochi dagi jinso gipe soknam ki dola pincher sange du parashog. Sange jodang songe chonam la jancho bhadu dagni gepsochi dagi jinso gipe soknam ki dola pincher sange du parashog. Sange jodang songi chonam la jancho bhadu dagni gepsochi dagi jinso gipe sonam ki dola pincher sange du parasho. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separatedness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught the speech which is freed of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the host of bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, the knower of all, which leads the hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, the knower of paths, which causes the bodhisattvas with altruism to help migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and omniscience, the thorough possession of which helps the Buddhas expound a variety of teachings endowed with complete aspects of subjects, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugada, and protector, to you I make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. The essence of dependent origination mantra. Let's recite along with Venerable Geshe-la's recording.
ॐ ये धर्मा हेतु प्रभव हेतुं तेषां तथागतो ह्यवतत् तेषां चयो निरोधा एवं वाति महाश्रमणये स्वाहा ॐ ये धर्मा हेतु प्रभव हेतुं तेषां तथागतो ह्यवतत् तेषां चयो निरोधा एवं वाति महाश्रमणये स्वाहा ॐ ये धर्मा हेतु प्रभव हेतुं तेषां तथागतो ह्यवतत् तेषां चयो निरोधा एवं वाति महाश्रमणये स्वाहा
Meaning of the dependent origination mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are thought by the Tathagata. Whatever is the cessation of these causes is thought thus by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration free, clear light, and non composite. Such is the nectar like Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I will retire into the woods. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times, I pay obeisance. The four seals of the Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are of the nature of suffering. All phenomena are of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma. Likewise, the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not wash away the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries with his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. Instructions on parting from the four attachments. If you're attached to this life, you're not a spiritual practitioner. If you're attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you're attached to your own self interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings as my guests. I will engage in the appealing deeds of excellence of enlightenment. May I become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Let's continue reading the text illuminating the intent. Page 285. Reply: there is no such problem at the time. The mere eye serves as the basis for the latent dispositions of the factors to be eliminated by the path of meditation. One should extend this understanding to other objects of elimination and their corresponding antidotes as well. If one understands the unique way the system of Acharya Chandrakirti defines the nature of person, arguments such as the following pose no problems. These include when uncontaminated states of mind manifest in the mental continua of Arya, born in the first three formless states, infinite space, infinite consciousness, and nothingness. Their very status as persons would come to an end because no mundane levels of mind are present. Similarly, one might object when, within the mental continuum of an Arya born in the highest formless state of peak of existence, arise uncontaminated states of mind belonging to the second highest formless state, nothingness. The beings of both peak of existence as well as nothingness would come to cease. Their uncontaminated mind cannot serve as the basis for the identities of the two beings as well as serve as the basis for the identity of the person who has attained nirvana. The reason such arguments pose no threat to Acharya Chandrakirti's view is because, according to Acharya Chandrakirti, one can legitimately define a person even without positing either of the two, contaminated or uncontaminated mind, to constitute the person's identity. The opponent's standpoint, on the other hand, assumes that the nature of the person, those who have not yet entered a path, and those on the learner stage, that is, the first four of the five paths, belongs to the class of phenomena that is neutral and non defiling. As for the responses offered above, how can someone like me speak independently on matters related to these great systems of thought? I have spoken on these issues, however, on the basis of the traditions of great charioteers who knew how to present the thought of the Savior Arya Nagarjuna exactly as it is and in its entirety. Judging from these responses, it appears that the remaining arguments aiming to prove the existence of foundation consciousness would also pose no problem to this system of Acharya Chandrakirti. Anyway, those whose intelligence is great, refined, and sharp should inquire further, illustrating by analogy how effects come into being from the cessation of actions. To illustrate the point above about how effects originate from disintegrated actions, it reads: having experienced certain things in a dream, a fool may continue to lust from them even when awake. Likewise, even from action ceased and lacking intrinsic existence, effects will come to be. Having perceived certain things, such as beautiful women in a dream, a fool may continue to lust for them, things now ceased even when he is awake. that is, even after having woken up. Likewise, even from karmic actions ceased and also lacking intrinsic existence, effects will come to be. This illustrates how effects can arise from karma following its disintegration. To substantiate the point of this analogy, Acharya Chandrakirti cites the transferring to another existence sutra. O great king, it is thus a man experiences a dream wherein he is making love with a beautiful woman, where he to continue to think of that beautiful woman after waking from that dream. O great king, what would you think of this? Is this person who, having dreamed of making love to a beautiful woman, continues to think of that beautiful woman even after waking from sleep? Someone who has the character of a learned one. Blessed one, replied the king, this is not so, O blessed one. If the beautiful woman of his dream does not exist, and if she cannot be observed, what possibility is there to experience her? Such a man will be someone who is depraved and desperate. Upon this, the sutra presents the analogy. The following presents how the analogy should be applied to its referent. O great king, likewise, childish beings on ordinary stage who are not endowed with learning have seen forms with their eyes, manifestly cling to forms that inspire pleasure in their mind, and having clung to them, they engender attachment toward them. Being attached, they engage in acts with their body, speech, and mind, stemming from attachment, from aversion, and from delusion. Having executed the karmic acts, the acts come to cease. When these karmic acts have ceased, they do not reside in the east with a support. They do not reside in the intermediate directions. Now, let's recite Heart Sutra mantra along with Venerable Geshe-la's recording.
Teatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Tyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Tyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Tyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha
No, so. Okay, thank you, Shugala, Namdullah. And here we have, and also this artist out there, Ravina Shugala. And here we have Namdullah and Pembertonla and Punjala also, and all the prayer leaders, the translators and the coordinators, and also the participants both offline and online. As indicated by the prayer leaders, let us reinforce the visualization of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in the space in front of us, as so loving, caring, and embracing. And also let us visualize your two grandparents and all of your members, including children, and all other dear mother sentient beings living on our side, where you are like the mother and all others are like children. And the purpose of this practice is to awaken the Buddha nature by cleansing the Buddha nature of the mental defilements, afflicted and current obscurations, but it's also a very powerful remedy of the wisdom of emptiness, supported or driven by the force of bodhicitta. We should rest on the mind of renunciation. So with this mind, let us take a few moments to generate the mind of bodhicitta. May I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. And verbally as well, we'll make the bodhicitta commitment 3 times together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. And taking the aspiration bodhisattva vow, imagine that you are leading this practice and all beings are joining us in taking the aspiration bodhisattva vow. And the Blaze English version, I don't know whether it's page 49, perhaps page 49. Let's recite this together. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of bodhicitta to resolve or come aims of others, myself. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, and but all sentient beings to be my guests, and shall engage in the appealing deeds of excellence or enlightenment, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of bodhicitta to resolutely accomplish the aims of others, myself. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, and that all sentient beings to be my guest, and shall engage in the delightful, the appealing deeds of excellence of enlightenment, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of bodhicitta to resolutely accomplish the aims of others, myself. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, and that all sentient beings to be my guest, and shall engage in the appealing deeds of excellence for enlightenment, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as the successful dwell in the Buddhist practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall too successful dwell in the Buddhist practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, And just as the successful dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and Lavashala to successful dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me, just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as the successful dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and Lavashala to successful dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Okay, now 5 minutes shamatha meditation. Okay, thank you. Continuing to read from where we left last time is on to make the point that the mind is primary. So this is now in the context of how we read the sutras so that we don't take the wrong connotation of what the sutra actually means. So where the Buddha taught in Dashabhumi Sutra, the 10 ground sutra, where the Buddha taught mind only, here the Buddha was rejecting external creator, the creator of the universe, where there's indicating there's no external independent, and the creator which decides, which has the power to decide everything outside. Instead, it's your own mind which is the creator. This is what is indicated. And then also said that that which the mind. Then another sutra cited from the Langavatara Sutra, between the mind and the matter. The mind is a primary to indicate that mind only is a primary. This is how it was indicated. It's not to reject the external, the matter. And then Lama Zopa is also going to explain when the choosing between the mind and the matter is rejected as the primary. So here, the matter should not be referred to as the sense, but how the Chidamata would interpret that is external matter. So therefore, this is going to be explained more detail in the next citations of the sutra. So okay, first let us continue reading this. To make the point that the mind is primary, the text says, it is the mind that constructed the vast diversity of both the domain of sentient beings and the universe as well. The Buddha said that all beings are born of karma. There's no karma without the mind. So this is something extremely important statement. And for many of us, we may think that this is talking about some religious concept. But in actuality, this is something which is very important, where physics is also going to trying to explain it. And of course, biology does not touch this area, how the universe came into being. Physics was trying to explain it, and the various philosophical traditions or religious traditions, theological traditions, they try to explain how the universe came into being. And so here, Acharya Chandrakriti and likewise in Abhidhamma by Acharya Vasubandhu very clearly indicated that it is your karma, the karma which decides the universe. So karma is part of the mind, in the one which creates the universe. So in this connection, I remember many years ago, perhaps like 20, 25 years ago, during His Holiness's teachings, 25, 30 years ago, I so well remember that His Holiness was touching this area, discussing as to what is the cause of the whole universe. What physics today is talking about, the Big Bang, that the whole universe came from the Big Bang 15 billion years ago, based on the calculation based on the Doppler's effect. So this is what physics is talking about, and what the physics talks about is actually the visible universe. Doppler's effect is all based on the lights, effects of the lights, the redshift, the phenomena. So where the light is involved, light means that visible universe, not but it's that they are the so greater part of the universe, is an infinite part of the universe, is still the light from there could not reach us even now. So only those part which are part of this universe, the visible universe, reaches our world. Otherwise, there are many the world systems as a part of the bigger universe. Overall, still yet to reach the light, whose light is still yet to reach us. So we were talking about based on Doppler's effect is the visible universe, whereas the Buddha is talking about the entire universe, visible, the non-visible, both, that they're all created by the mind. So by the karma, and karma is none other than your mind, so mind is the creator. And His Holiness was the bringing in the modern science where the universe is said to be created by the Big Bang. The next question is, why Big Bang? Why the Big Bang should happen? Question, why? How it happens is explained by physics, but why it happens, physics does not touch this. What happens, and then if you go beyond this, like what Stephen Hawking, they hypothetically ask this question, or rhetorically, he asks this question as to how did this singularity know that I should explode? Now I cannot contain the energy anymore. I should explode. How did you know that at that point, 15 billion years ago? Why not before that? Why not after that? Why at that point? It's a big question. So this is the explanatory gap, even with physics. So why at this point, 15 billion years, at that point it exploded? And why not before that? And so many physicists like the Nobel laureate Professor Roger Penrose, who is still alive, many of these physicists would say that Big Bang is not the origin of the universe, it's just the origin of this particular universe, this particular time. And before that, there should be Big Crunch. Before this Big Bang, Big Bang, Big Bang Crunch, Big Bang, Big Crunch, Big Bang, Big Crunch. If this is the case, where is this energy? Where is this energy coming from, which is responsible for Big Bang, Big Crunch, Big Bang, Big Crunch? So for this again is a huge explanatory gap, but the explanation from the physics. This is all in dark area. So where is His Holiness? But but the content that this is where the karma plays the role. The karma plays a role to explode this part of the universe in one particular way, depending on the karma of the beings. So, considering all the difficulties faced by the physicists to explain how the universe, the Big Bang started, why the Big Bang started, and what it was before that, even those who say that this is the origin, at best they can explain the visible universe of today. So, to make sense of the whole evolution of the universe, then the role of karma is inevitably required to be included. So this is where, okay, now this screen sharing. This is where the Acharya Chandrakirti says, it is the mind that constructed the vast diversity of both the domain of the sentient beings and the universe, the habitat, the world as well. The Buddha said that all beings are born of karma. There's no karma without the mind. The mind is the creator of the universe in that sense. Not like the mind decides, but it creates. Mind is the one with the greatest power, ultimate. No, mind is also impermanent. Mind is also dependent. In a conventional sense, mind is one which is responsible for creating the universe. Then the next verse says, even though matter does exist, it has no status of a creator like the mind. How the mind has been playing the main role, primary role in creating the world. The matter does not have the potential. Even though matter does exist, it has no status of creator like the mind. So what is being denied is a creator other than the mind. What is rejected when mind, you say one mind only. When you say mind only, it denies or it rejects the acceptance of the external creator. It is not that matter is being negated. Matter is not negated. What is negated is the external creator is negated. Externality is not negated. Matter is not negated. Okay, I don't know whether I should read this. Okay, I'll quickly read this commentary quickly. It's quite explanatory. The domain of sentient beings obtains its reality through karma and its afflictions accumulated by individual. Okay, so here the karma, the Lama Zopa explain a little bit about the karma, and particularly the collective karma and the individual karmas. So this distinction is being made here. It is very helpful for us. Otherwise, karma sounds very vague to our mind. The domain of sentient beings obtains its reality or obtain the significance through karma and afflictions accumulated by individual beings themselves. While the vast diversity of the universe, for example, individuals, I'm sick, I'm happy, I'm not happy, or I have good health all my life, or I have ill health all my life, it's all determined by my individual karma. It's not the collective karma, the individual karma. And whereas while the vast diversity of the universe, the world, the container world, the universe, the container, the environment is constructed or produced by the collective karma gathered by the mind of the sentient beings. For example, like say the planet Earth, and within planet Earth, we see that some places they are so barren and hardly any vegetation grow, and some places so beautiful, and some places the vegetation is there, but it's so dusty, and the whole environment somehow is very dusty. For example, like Delhi. For example, like in Delhi, yes, it's not that the Delhi is actually producing all these pollutions, but the neighboring states, what do? This is a karma. The neighboring states, they were all the farming lands, and farming lands at the end of the agricultural season, then they burn the staples. They burn them, and then around Delhi, everywhere the staples are being burned, and then the smoke somehow it is the whole the place the geography is designed in such a way that the whole smoke just revolves around the Delhi. It comes around Delhi, so Delhi cannot do anything. So this is where, and the people in Delhi created that Delhi should be like this. That is very strange. It says that sometimes that in some places where some holy beings, enlightened beings, they come, and more, let's say, people who are very meritorious of the beings, they come together collectively, then the whole environment changes. Where earlier no water, the water starts to come. No vegetation starts to come. Earlier so dusty, and even the dust settles. So these are the power of the karma. This is amazing. Okay, so what it says here, this is known as the collective karma. And whereas some people they come instantly, but in fact this is very strange. I noticed that when I was many years ago, when I was in IBD, Institute of Buddhist Dialectics, and as once in a while His Holiness used to pay visit to South India in the monasteries, temple monasteries, and these big monasteries. So there, the moment His Holiness is there, everything looks so vibrant. It's amazing. Everything looks so vibrant. Even the buildings, even the vegetation, everything looks so vibrant. And what I noticed was that the same evening that His Holiness left, everything in place just within the span of a few hours. The whole environment turned so dusty, very different. I couldn't really understand it. So this is where the power of the individuals who are extremely meritorious and enlightened beings, when they come, then the place is lit up with vibrancy, with some kind of the elegance and so forth. Okay, screen sharing. Okay, so it says that while the vast diversity of the universe, the container environment, is constructed or produced by the collective karma gathered by the mind of the sentient beings. So, for example, let's say that the planet Earth, it was as old as 4.6 billion years. 4.6 billion years, which came out of the sun. And the sun came out of the Milky Way galaxy. Of course, at that point, it was not a galaxy, it was just the whole chunk of the matter. And from there, exploded to become the galaxy, Milky Way galaxy, part of which is the solar system. And then the today to number of Earth as a moment create the planet Earth, see the turn on there, or the vegetation sub say became like this, came out of the sun, and then gradually it cooled down. Then the water is formed, and then it become extremely beautiful. They said the planet, blue planet, and in comparing that with the other planets, all the other 9 planets or the 8 planets, they came out of the sun, but only the planet Earth is so conducive, hospitable for the people to to see that as a habitat. So the habitation is very suitable for habitation. So why? So the people who are going to take birth there, so like the unicellular organism, the first unicellular organism which came 4 billion years ago, and then the Homo sapiens like 300,000 years ago, or point 3 million years ago, and the dinosaurs like 200, 300 million years ago. So these collectively, they come collectively, the same started to act on this planet Earth, and planet Earth it becomes like what it is with water, the air. But you look at the other planets, air trace meaning earlier there must be some water in the air. And then like Neptune and the other planets, the ice over there, ice, who is for to exist. So why planet Earth? Because of the beings who take birth here, collectively they come up acting on this to make it hospitable. It the the other excuse me, Yuri, hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me well? Okay. Okay, this is under screen sharing. Okay. Is constructed to reduce the collective karma, get of the extension beings collectively. Failing to understand the concept of karma so well, then we tend to become lax in our accumulating, in our taking interest in getting virtues, and this the shunning the non-virtues. So karma, collective karma. Let me talk about it a little bit more by citing the say anecdote which happened in the time of the Buddha. There was a nun teacher. There was a nun teacher, and the nun teacher was extremely famous, popular, and she was already arhat, a female arhat, and she had about like 500 nun students, and she was giving teachings to these nun students. And unfortunately, what happened was that in the middle of this teaching, a group of burglars started to put the whole space, whole campus into blaze, put on fire. And the nun teacher sensed that, okay, now we are going to die. And the nun teacher advised the nun students that we have to practice what is known as owning up one's own karma. Owning up in Tibetan is known as Grishava in Tibetan, Le Dagrishava. And in English, owning up one's own karma. That okay, so what I have to go through the consequence of death, all because of one of the previous the karma that I've done in the past. So collectively, it's a collective karma. So it's a collective karma that all these 500 nuns were to die in blaze, in this particular place, put to place by the burglars. And then later, what happened was that out of these 500, one somehow escaped through the tunnel or a ditch, escaped through the ditch. And the remaining 499, including the teacher, all died in the blaze. And later, the matter was reported to Buddha, and the Buddha indicated what is the cause of this. That many, many, many lifetimes ago, these 500 nuns, many lifetimes ago, this lifetime, they're very lucky that they met with the Dharma, they met with such a great teacher, and they all, and they are into the path to enlightenment. 500 burglars. These 500 burglars, they were trying to kill somebody. They decided to kill somebody. And the meeting party killing. So that person did not really involve himself or herself. He did a collective karma. Born in 1990, died together in this karma. So these are such incidents there, and it's very. This is how the karma operates. For example, like the such karmic consequences were revealed in the sutras, but what happened was that it was like years ago, perhaps like 10, 15 years ago. What happened was in Pakistan, there was the terrorist attack in a school, Peshawar in Pakistan. And reading newspaper, it was just exactly what was said in the karma, where said that the karma, then there's no wastage of the karma, which means that the result will ripen unless you purify that. Number one. Number two, The result of the karma, you will not experience the result of the karma. You will not experience the result of the karma which you did not do. So these are the two main statements of the karma. Many messages. Okay. So there is interruption, internet interruption, sound interruption happening. What should we do now?
Hello everyone. So right now we are having some internet issues and Sringla is trying his best to resolve the issue. So we really appreciate your patience at this matter. Hello, Gisela. Gisela Damindo Gisela. Damindo Gisela.
Hello, hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Now Gisela.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, Gisela.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So if you sense any interruption with my sound, break of my sound, please let me know. Okay, so what I'm saying, okay, so people are saying that they didn't hear the story complete. So okay, online participants, did you hear the story complete? Online participants, no. Okay, now let me say this once more. We were talking about the collective karma and the individual karma. So what about that? Then the 500 nun story. You heard it complete? 500 nun story. No? Oh, okay. Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Good. At the time of the Buddha, there was one nun teacher, and the nun teacher, she was already an arahat. Arahat, she attained already liberation from the afflictive obscurations and attained nirvana and was an arhat. And she was a prolific teacher as well. She had 500 non-students. Once she was given teaching to the 500 non-students, and in the middle of the teaching, a group of burglars, they started to put the whole campus, whole teaching site on blaze, put on fire. And then the nun teacher, when she came to sense that they were put on blaze, so she realized that they were all going to die. So she asked the nun students, all the 500 nuns, the 499 nun students, that we have to now do one practice, the practice of owning up one's own karma, owning up one's own karma. What is meant by that? In Tibetan, it is known as le dagiricheba. Le dagiricheba. Le dagiricheba means that, okay, so what I'm going through now, the miseries that I'm the experience now is the result of my previous karma. So I have to accept it. So this is known as owning up one's own karma, le dagiricheba. So the teacher, non-teacher, advised the students to do this practice, owning one's the karma. And it is said that if you learn how to own up one's karma, when negativities befall on oneself, when sufferings befall on oneself, and then you take that, okay, this is the ripening of my own karma. So there's no basis for me to feel angry. The negative karma that I did, and now is ripening upon me. So if you do that, the whole, you feel it, you do that. This is the incredibly great the means to purify your negativities of the past, because your condition law of karma reinforces your commitment to engage in the karmas properly, in the engagement of the positive karmas, and to shun the negative karmas, thereby purifying your negative karmas greatly. So this is so important. And amongst the Tibetans, and also in Ladakhis, Arunachals, and so forth, where the Buddhism that flourished for the last 1,000 years. So this tradition is very prevalent among the common people. If the common people, if something wrong happens to them, generally it's my karma when something wrong happens to them. So that way, their minds do not really feel so agitated. Instead, they could maintain the calmness of the mind. This is incredibly a great way of healing oneself, and also that in the long run, the purification of negative karmas also happen. This is so precious a practice. So this is what we need to learn. And then what happened was that this teacher, when she was advising her students to own up one's own karma, out of these, one nun somehow miraculously escaped through a ditch, through a very small passage in the ditch. She just escaped through that. And then finally 499 of them passed away, including the teacher, and one nun escaped. And the matter was reported to Buddha, and the Buddha instantly indicated what was the cause of this misery, this tragedy. And the Buddha indicated that although in this life they were incredibly great, and the very meritorious beings, 500 of these were so meritorious to follow the path of stopping the painful tears of samsara. But in the many lifetimes, many eons ago, once they were all 500 the burglars themselves. 500 burglars, and of these 500 burglars, at one point, they decided to kill one person. And when they agreed to kill one person, one of them declined. One of them disagreed that if you ask me to engage in stealing or so forth, I'll do that. But if you ask me to kill, I will not agree with the killing. So one disagreed, and 499 agreed to kill that person. So killed, and the 499 created a collective karma, collective negative karma of killing somebody. But so one, because the person declined to be part of this action, that person did not accumulate that, was not a part of this accumulation, the collective karma of negative collective karma of killing. So the Because of this, the one nun who escaped through the ditch was that one who did not agree with the act of killing. So this is the concept of the karma. And then so later, I heard all these stories since my childhood, reading the Buddha's biography. And later when the one incident, tragedy, the school shooting, they happened in Peshawar in Pakistan. That were like years ago, 10, 15 years ago. When that happened, the next day I was reading the newspaper. In the newspaper, it's just amazing how the karma, which the Buddha actually taught with specific examples, they actually happened in Peshawar. I was so amazed reading the newspaper. So the Buddha taught that there's no escape from the karma which you did. In other words, there's no wastage of your karma which you did, which means that karma you did, negative karma that you did, you have to reap the consequence, unless that is purified. The virtuous karma that you did, you will. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, the virtuous karma that you did. Again, if it's not damaged by the anger, if it's not damaged by the wrong views, then the karma, there's no wastage. You will ripen the effect of this virtuous karma. So the karma which are done, and the karmas which are done will not go to wastage. Number one. And the number two axiom is that karma which you did not do, you will not experience the result of the karma which you do not do. Karma which you did, you have to experience the result. There's no wastage of the karma, which means you have to experience the result. Karma which you do not do, you will not experience the result. You will not experience the result of the karma which you did not do. So these are two basic axioms related to the karma. And the Peshawar incident, I was just amazed to see that these two are exactly what is demonstrated, exhibited in this incident, the mass shooting in school by the terrorists. So I read the paper, and there was a young boy. There was a young boy, maybe class 6 or 7 or class 8. This boy, who was the regulator going to school, and that day what happened was that he overslept. This boy overslept. So therefore he could not join the school. He couldn't go to school. And the next day when he go to school, he saw that all his friends, they were all killed. So this was where he did not. So in the past, if you were to take into consideration the karmic, the mechanism here, so this boy must not have engaged the act of negative karma, collective negative karma in the past. So therefore he escaped because he overslept that day. Usually it did not happen to him. Whereas there was another girl, a little girl, poor little girl, just age 4 or 5. It was the first day she was attending school in her life, the first day attending school. And that day the incident happened and she died. So seeing these things and reading the anecdotes which the Buddha shared on these are just exactly the contemporary situation of the karmic effect into the fruitioning. Okay. This is Alhamdulillah. Screen sharing. Good. So the part, this latter continual spans from the wind mandala. Okay, continual meaning how the world is created, how the world came into existence. So it's the continual world spans from the wind mandala first, the wind is created, based up to the highest heavenly realm, the Akanishta. So this according to the cosmology presented in the Buddhist canons. Akanishta. As for the remarkable diversity of the features, such as the brilliance, so the continual world, of course, is the result of the collective karma, number one. Number two, as for the remarkable diversity of features, such as the brilliance of the peacock's feathers, These arise as products of the unique karma of these sentient beings. The peacock having very beautiful the feathers. So these are the result of the karma which this peacock accumulated in the past. Unique karma of these sentient beings alone. In contrast, the diversity of the petal shapes and colors that exist among lotuses, the lotus born in the pond commonly commonly owned by the people around the neighborhood. So the lotus has very beautiful the shapes, the color combination, texture, and so forth. So these are the result of what karma? Pattern, shape, and colors that exist among lotuses are produced by collective karma of the sentient beings. Now, we should extend the same understanding to other cases of diversity as well. It is stated, it's owing to the power of the sentient beings. Alhamdulillah. It's owing to the power of the sentient beings that volcanoes erupted in their time. So even the volcanoes erupting is because of the karma of the sentient beings. So likewise, weapons and jewelries, and let's say in the case of the Holy Ghost realms, in the case of the hell realms, they are the weapons coming from the trees. And whereas in the gold realms, the trees with the jewels, they happen. This is all because of why the different trees are coming. It's all because of the collective karma of the beings there, and in hells and in the high realms. That these two domains, the universe and sentient beings, the container world, the universe, and the sentient beings, the content of the world, the sentient beings, are produced by two types of karma, collective karma and non-collective. Non-collective meaning individual karmas is explained in the Chitta text as well. So even according to Chitta, it is not the case that there is no container world. So even Chitta should accept that this external world, this matter, don't use the word external. So this is my error. So even Chitta accepts the container world to matter. Thus the Buddha said that all beings are born of karma, and this is the meaning. This is the meaning of what the statement the Buddha made, that the whole world is made of born out of karma, or born or produced out of karma, or came into being by a part of the karma. And furthermore, there's no karma without the mind. Karma is a part of the mind. Karma is what? Karma is the mental factor of intention. Karma is mental factor of intention, and mental factor of intention is a part of the mind. Mind and the mental factors. So karma too is contingent upon the mind, saying, and the meaning that, without the mind, for it's only with mind, for it's only with mind that karma is accrued, meaning that for it's only the one with mind. For example, let's say that I say something hurtful, I say something very nice to somebody, very compassionate word to somebody, or very the nasty word to somebody. So I'm with the mind. So this person then engages in the act of karma, the intention of saying something injurious to other people, or to say something nice to other person. So the person with the mind accrues the karma, which means with the mind triggers this intention to say something nice, or to do something nice, or do something harmful. So the person with the mind, only with the being with the mind engages in the act of karma. So the karma is contingent, dependent on the mind. So which means the karma is a part of mind. Karma is a part of mind. This is the meaning. So therefore the mind is the primary, and mind is the creator of the world. Thus, through statements with phrases such as no agent, no experiencer, the 10 Grounds Sutra shows how the word only rejects some other agent. So in Dashabhumi Sutra 10, Bhumi, the sutra, but the Buddha taught the mind only. That only doesn't mean that the only mind, whole world is mind. This is not meaning that the mind is the creator of the world and not any other, the entity permanent or intrinsic entity as the creator. Thus, through statements with phrases such as "no agent, no experiencer," the 10 Ground Sutra shows how the word only rejects some other agent, and with the statements of how all 12 links are dependent on one another, the mind, the mind, the one factor, the mind, which means 12 links. First is the ignorance. Ignorance is part of mind. And ignorance gives rise to the karma. This is also mind, part of mind. And karma gives rise to the consciousness, which is mind. And then number 4, name and form. So you keep going like this, we see that it's all about the mind. The sutra, namjo lag di nada, ngi kawa logo yu me di tak di gyada. Tangi maga le saswa. Okay. The 10 Ground Sutra shows how the word only rejects some other agent, and with statements of how all 12 links are dependent on one factor, the mind. The sutra demonstrates how the term only indicates the mind is the mind to be primary. The first explanation is, okay, now look, this is very important. First explanation is from a negative standpoint. First explanation meaning in Dashabhumi Sutra, where the Buddha rejected the external agent, external created agent. So that's from negative meaning rejection of external, and rejection of the permanent intrinsic creator as having the full power to create the universe. So this is from the negative side. And the second one, which is, we said that between the mind and the matter, mind is the primary. That is from the affirmative perspective, to say that mind is a primary. In the second case, mind only means the external creator is not there, rejecting external creator. So this is the slightly different presentation where the same statement is made, mind only. So it says that the first explanation is from a negative standpoint, negative meaning rejecting external creator. And the second one, from the affirmative perspective, saying that between the mind and the matter, mind is primary, it's affirmative, it's not the rejection perspective. In brief, it is the mind that is a primary cause of the activity of sentient beings, and factors other than the mind are not principles. So this is quite quite an irony, which I feel that this is reality, how the mind plays the most important thing. For example, I'm happy, I'm not happy. And even if you're a billionaire, even if you are the millionaire, still you are very unhappy. You're looking for ways to make fun and look for some fun, and you don't find everything so boring. And for some people, you don't have anything. Still, the mind is so happy. So everything revolves on mind. But still, the neuroscientists and many people, what is mind? We don't know the mind. Nobody knows what mind is, and we are doing everything for your own mind. For example, we are making a living so that my mind is happy. My mind doesn't suffer. And yet, the people say that the mind doesn't exist. It's just a brain. So this is the greatest of the irony. Whereas the Buddha identifies the mind as a prime. For example, just think of the whole world. You have the medical hospitals, mind, spending billions of dollars after this to take care of the mind. And then we have the education to take care of the mind. So anything, and then the heating system, cooling system, food, everything, so that you don't feel hungry. And then the painkillers, that the pharmacies, they are making a whole lot, trillions of dollars out of making painkillers to reduce the pain of the physical pain, mental pain, to reduce the pain, which is all purely mind. And spending everything is out of the mind, and still they're not finding the mind. So this is the greatest irony. Whereas in the Buddha's teachings, the mind is so well defined, and say that take care of the mind. Mind is the ultimate. Commit no evils. Accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible. Tame your mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. This is amazing. And how we understand this mind is only we can understand it fully by understanding two truths: conventional truth and ultimate truth. The moment you go into the reductionist approach, you will never find what the mind is. So therefore, people come to say that while they're struggling for their life because of this mind, but they say that there's no mind. This is irony, because they take the reductionist approach, failing to understand what is meant by conventional truth. So this is the beauty of the Buddha's teachings. This is amazing, where it's a profound philosophy, but doesn't contradict with the conventional world. This is amazing. Okay. Therefore, the mind, not matter, is posited. Therefore, mind is posited as the primary, and the matter is not the primary. Matter exists, but the matter is not the primary. Therefore, the mind, not matter, is posited in the sutras as primary. Therefore, even though matter does exist and is indeed accepted, there is no status of a creator being like the mind. The mind is a creator, and the matter is not the creator, and the mind is the primary, and the matter is not the primary. So what is being denied or negated is the creator other than the mind. It is not that external matter is being negated. This is Acharya Chandrakirti's reading. External matter is not negated. What is negated by mind only? But the Buddha said mind only in Dashabhumi Sutra, 10 Ground Sutra, is that having an external creator is negated. Some schools such as Samkhya. Okay, now who are those who accept some external creators? Such as Samkhya assert primal substance of Prakriti. Primal substance, we must know this concept. This is more what you find in Pramana Vartika, where Samkhya's presentation is given there as the creator of the world. But the concept of creator differs. It's not the same. How the concept of creator is posited by Samkhya, how the concept of creator is posited by, for example, say the Christianity or the other religions, is very different. It's not the same. Within India, within the Indian traditions, like how Vedanta will talk about the creator, how the Samkhya, Nyaya, they are similar but not the same. It's very different. They have the different points of view of what really is creator. For example, for Samkhya, the Prakriti is the creator. And when they say it's a creator, it doesn't mean that it creates everything. No. So usually in the context, many people, they're too naive. They don't know all these philosophical positions. So the moment somebody says there's no creator, it is like you are this blasphemous. This is blasphemy. Blasphemy. You are denigrating the creator, the ultimate. No, this is not how the creator is understood or creator is conceived of by all the philosophical traditions. There are different traditions there. For Samkhya, creator is nothing good. There's creator is nothing good. For Samkhya. For Samkhya, creator is creator Prakriti. Creator is something not to be admired, not to be worshipped. Because creator is one which creates problem to you. To create what? To create problem on us. So this is Prakriti. But the Samkhya's version is very different. So we are too naive. We become too emotional. The moment we say there's no creator, the people tend to become too emotional. If you ask what is creator, they just consider creator somebody who is the ultimate, where you should rely, and so forth. This is considered the creator in the context of the Christianity and Islam and so forth. Whereas in the Indic religious beliefs, creator may not necessarily be this. So, and then in Vedanta tradition, say the what is that? Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta is just your own mind, yourself. The Paramatma, that's the ultimate. There's no external creator there to worship. It's the self, the permanent, intrinsic, permanent, unitary, independent self. That you discover that as the ultimate, then everything else as Maya, they all dissolve. And then you merge, or then you manifest your true nature, that is the permanent, unitary, independent self, the Paramatma. So this is the ultimate, this is the creator. It's not, there's no another creator dominating over you, according to Advaita Vedanta. And the Samkhya is very different. Samkhya creator is the creator of problem, not creator of the creator in something to be worshipped. So Samkhya's concept of creator is very interesting. It says that you are not created by the Prakriti. So look, in what is created, it differs between different traditions. Okay, online participants, can you hear me? Online participants, can you hear me? 남들 고돼.
나온 계시라. 나온 계시라.
Okay, because I can see that you freeze on my screen. Okay, let me continue. So from Samkhya point of view, creator means creator of problem. Creator problem. What is creator problem? That the prakriti, what is that? The creator the substance as the creator, whole as the prakriti. That creator and what it creates in the first place. What it creates, okay, a gas.
Hello, hello. Kishila Singina, hello. I think we can hear Kishila, but Kishila is not able to hear us. So let's wait some time. As meantime, when the internet will fix by Sringla. Sringla is there at Root Institute with Venerable Kishila.
Kudo. Kudo. Yeah. Okay. Shindigore. Okay. So according to Samkhya, so what is created is not that it creates everything. It doesn't create itself. Yes, this is a common feature of the concept of creator, accepted by all the philosophers or the systems who believe in creator. Whereas the self, the person is also not created by the prakriti meaning the creator. It's not created by so itself, the prakriti itself is not created by prakriti, and the person, the self, each one of us, we have a sense of self. That self is not created by the prakriti. So what it creates is that it creates your mobiles, iPhone 17 Pro Max. It creates your food, it creates your house, it creates your cars, it creates your road, it creates when you're cold is also created by the prakriti. And then created the aircon and created the heat, and again to mitigate the heat, then the air conditioner is created. And then created hunger, body, hunger is created, and the food is created. So that you will be trapped, that you will be busy. You'll become so occupied, busy. Oh, I'm hungry. I have to look for food. I'm feeling cold. Go to buy heating system, and then you need to go to Bodh Gaya. Then you purchase a ticket, airplane.
Hello, Sringla Singina. Hello everyone. So I just got the information from Madam Vikeshila. So today we are having lots of network issues. Therefore, we will not able to continue today's session. So we will conclude the session with reading the end dedication prayer.
Thank you, Venerable Geshe-la. Additional dedication prayers. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you're the source of all happiness and good. All powerful Chandrasen Tenzin Getso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samanta Badra too realize things as they are. Also, I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. Jan chop sem chok rem poche, ma ke panam ke goche, ke panyam pa me payam, gong ne gong do pel vasho. May the supreme bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find new hope, constant happiness and prosperity. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their illness, and may every disease in the world never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting one another. By the merits I have accumulated, may every single being abandon all forms of wrongdoing and perpetually engage in virtue. May they never be parted from the mind of Bodhicitta, and may they always engage in the Bodhisattva's conduct. May they be cared for by the Buddhas and relinquish the actions of devils. May no living creature ever suffer, commit wrong, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled, or their minds ever be depressed. May all the pains of living creatures ripen solely upon myself, and through the might of the Bodhisattva Sangha, may all beings experience happiness. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by all the Buddhas who appeared in the three times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. Heart Sutra Mantra Teyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Thayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Thayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha. Thank you, Venerable Geshe-la. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Keshila. Thank you. I need to be house.
Thank you, Gishla. Thank you, Tibet House. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Gisela.
Ursula.
Thank you, Tibet House.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone
everyone.
to the house. Good night.
Thank you everyone and Pasiba, and see you on Sunday. I hope that time we will have the good internet. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much for your patience.